Packmates, a podcast about Magic the Gathering Limited. Today we're doing the limited set review. We go card by card and give them a rating.
I'm going to go ahead and go over our rating scale that we use to rate the cards. 10 through 9 are basically our bombs. For 10, I have our Gruff Triplets, Unbeatable Bomb. 9, Sleep Curse Fairy, the 3/3 for 1. From 8 to 7, I have Hyper Efficient Removal and Hyper Efficient Creatures. For an 8, I have Inadane's Recruiter from the last set, Torch the Tower, which is a 1-mana removal spell. For 6 through 4, these are like what's going to make up the largest part of your deck. And these are like varying from pretty solid creatures to creatures that are like usually like your last cuts. For 6, I have Ministrosity, the 3/1 for 2. The Into the Fate Court, the draw 3, the best blue card. For 4, I have Verdant Outrider, which is like a semi-unplayable creature. And then from 3 to 0, it's just varying levels of unplayability. For 3, I have Sugar Rush, the pump spell that draws you a card. 2 Protective Parents of super inefficient creature, and 1 Eerie Interference, the Bad Fog. And for 0, Greater Aromancy, which is like an unplayable enchantment. And that's our scale.
Okay, we're up with our last review, Artifacts and Lands from Lost Caverns of Ixalan. Starting off with the commons, and our first card is Buried Treasure. For 2, it's an artifact treasure. You can sack it and tap it to add 1 mana of any color. Then you can exile it from your graveyard later for 5 to discover 5. Activate only as a sorcery. What do you think?
Kind of good. I kind of like it. I like the idea of also just being able to like hit it off the mill too.
Yeah.
Like it's a permanent, so it like triggers the send. I'm gonna give it a very hesitant 6. Super hesitant 6.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like that's pretty ridiculous, but
yeah, I'm gonna drop to a 5.
yeah, that's probably more reasonable.
Next up we have Cartographer's Companion. This is 3 mana for a 2/1 gnome. When it enters the battlefield, create a map token.
Sick.
It's not that good. You'll play it.
It's not that good, but it's two permanents for 3, right?
Yeah, you'll play in the artifact deck sometimes.
Yeah.
That's it. Like a 4.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Next up, we have Compass Gnome. 2 mana for an artifact creature gnome. It's a 2/1. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card or cave card, reveal it, then shuffle and put that card on top.
Sick. It's a 6.
Coward.
It's an 8.
There we go.
It's a 8.
There's
It's a bomb.
flavor.
It's Dune Mate Mover, strictly upgraded.
With caves.
Yeah. He doesn't have
I'm going to go
taxes.
7, but yeah, it's very good.
2 for 1.
You giving it an 8?
No, I'll give it a 7 too.
Okay.
I love it.
Disruptor Wonderglyph. 4 mana for a 3/4 golem. When it attacks, exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. You're probably not going to play this.
Yeah.
It's fine though. Like it disrupts a lot of things, but it's like
okay,
a 4.
but it's like kind of I have it at 4 too.
Hunter's Blowgun. 1 mana for an artifact equipment. Equip creature gets +1/+1 and has death touch as long as it's your turn. Otherwise, it has reach. Equip for 2.
Nah, it's whatever.
Yeah.
I'll give it like a 4. You'll play it.
I'm gonna give it like a 3.
Helps you get in. Does help you get in, right?
Yep. We'll take all the help we can get. Next up, Runaway Boulder. 6 mana for an artifact with flash. When it enters the battlefield, deals 6 damage to target creature an opponent controls. Cycling 2.
I kind of like it.
I kind of do too.
These are always bad. But this is like the most. It's funny because this is like the biggest one. Like
it descends.
It does, and like it cycles too.
Yeah,
which isn't the end of the world. I'm gonna give it a hesitant 5.
I'm gonna give it a 4, but I'll probably play it. I'll probably play it some.
Yeah, this will be coming out for me for sure.
Next up,
Colorless,
Next up, we have the Hidden Cycle, which is all the just basic lands. They're land caves that enter the battlefield tapped. Add only 1 color, and then you can pay 4 in that color to sacrifice them to discover 4 as a sorcery.
Pretty good.
Really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna give these a 6. These
are
good.
I think they're a 6 too. Next up, we have Captivating Cave. It's a land cave. Tap it to add a colorless. Pay 1 to filter. Add 1 mana. Pay 1 and then tap it to add 1 mana of any color. Pay 4 tap it, sacrifice it, put 2/1/1 counters on a creature, activate only as a sorcery. I think this is like solid fixing.
Yeah, I would give it like a
5.
5.
Yeah. Next up, we have Promising Vein. This is a cave that you tap for colorless, pay 1, tap it, sacrifice it, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, tap. This is like an untapped Evolving Wild. It's sick.
I haven't loved these as much.
I like
I
them.
haven't liked them as much. They're kind of sketch.
I'm giving it a 6.
I'm gonna give it a 5. It does put a cave in the graveyard, which is real.
Yep. Next up, we're to the uncommons. We have Cavernous Maw. This is a cave. Tap it to add a colorless or pay 2. It becomes a 3/3 elemental creature only if you have 3 caves plus caves in your graveyard. There's 3 or greater. So it's like
It
cave
seems
deck
okay. I'm probably gonna put this at like a 3.
Yeah, it's kind of bad. It's kind of
Yeah,
bad.
it doesn't seem like it's gonna work very well.
Yep. Next up, we have Forgotten Monument. That's another cave. Tap it for colorless. Other caves you control have tap, pay 1 life, add 1 mana of any color.
Sick.
6.
I'm gonna give it a 7. Like this is gonna enable some really, really, really stupid stuff.
Yeah, it is. It
Like,
is. But
and
it's
what
an
is your
uncommon,
opponent
so you
gonna
can
do?
search for it with
Sideboard and
some stuff, right?
land hate? Like you get like 2 of these and you could play literally everything. Like it's sick.
With the Dune Mover that searches for him.
Yeah, and like yeah, for sure, which is sick.
Yep.
At common
That's
too. Right?
uncommon. It's an uncommon.
The Dune Mover's common.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which gets your 1 copy of Forgotten Monument.
Which
Yeah, it's
lets you
sick.
play literally everything.
Yep, it's fire.
Pit of Offerings. It's a cave. Enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, exile up to 3 cards from graveyards. You can tap it to add a colorless. You can tap it to add 1 mana of any of the exiled cards' colors.
Sick.
Yeah, like a 6.
Yeah, I give it like a 6. It's graveyard hate on a land.
Graveyard hit on a land that also can probably tap for at least 2 colors, maybe 3.
Yeah, which is tight.
Next
I
up,
like it.
we have Volatile Fault. It's a cave. Tap it to add colorless. Pay 1. Sack it. Destroy target non-basic land an opponent controls. That player may search through your library for a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield. Then shuffle. You create a treasure token.
It kind of sucks that you don't get a land out of it.
Is it worth it just to pay for to destroy all the craft and god stuff that
Probably. I don't know. I'm gonna start it off at like a 3.
I think you only play this in like the cave deck, right?
Yeah, you like need it. You need it to do more than just give you
Yeah.
a treasure token for a land. That's like not a good trade.
Right. It's good when they can't bring their god back infinity times.
Yeah.
Sure, 3. Careening Minecart. 3 mana for a 3/3 vehicle. When it attacks, create a treasure token. Crew 1.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive though.
3/3 for 3?
3/3 for 3 that get a treasure token. I'm gonna start off at 4. I'm not crazy about it.
Yeah, vehicles are rough. Contested Game Ball. 2 mana for an artifact. Whenever you're dealt combat damage, the attacking player gains control of Contested Game Ball and untaps it. Pay 2, tap it, draw a card, and put a point counter. Then if it has 5 or more point counters on it, sacrifice it and create a treasure token. You should never play this card. It's
a 0.
literal trash. It's a 0.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Dig Site Conservator. 2 mana for an artifact creature gnome. It's a 2/1. You can sack it to exile up to 4 target cards from a single graveyard as a sorcery. And when it dies, you may pay 4. If you do, discover 4.
I kind of like it.
That's
I
like
kind of like
it's really good.
It seems okay. Yeah. I'm gonna start off on a 5.
Okay. Next up, we have Hoverstone Pilgrim. This is a 5 mana for a 2/5 artifact creature golem that has flying and ward 2. You can pay 2, put target card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. 2.
I'm gonna play this more than anyone you know.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4. It's pretty good for what it is. It's kind of good.
It's really bad.
Which is like doing a bad thing. This is a pretty good version of it. The fact that it has Ward 2 is kind of nice.
You're tripping.
It's kind of nice. For like these type of cards, this one's kind of premium. You don't have to tap it to do this, which normally you do.
You're just digging a hole. Stop.
For like what it is, it's a pretty good version. I'm not mad at it.
Hoverstone Pilgrim.
I'm gonna give it a 4.
Roby says Hoverstone.
It's premium for being a bad thing.
I'm cutting it there.
For a
Hoverstone
bad
Pilgrim
mill win con.
It's pretty premium. Cut.
For bad mill win con, it's
I'm
sick.
cutting all that out.
Yeah.
It's premium. Next up, we have Scampering Surveyor. 4 mana for a 3/2 gnome. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic land or cave. Put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle.
That's pretty sick. I give it a 6. I'm a fan.
Ugh. It's
That's a
colorless?
lot of value. That's a lot of value.
Yeah. Next up, we have Sorcerer's Spyglass. 2 mana for an artifact. When it enters the battlefield, look at an opponent's hand, choose any card name. Activated abilities of sorcerers with the chosen name can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. 0.
You sideboard it in sometimes.
For what?
So
A
I'm gonna give it a
planeswalker?
2. Planeswalkers,
Artifacts?
like the lands, the freaking like the flipping,
Maybe.
like you name Huatli, right? So they can't activate it.
Next up, we have Sunbird Standard. 3 mana for an artifact. Tap it to add 1 mana of any color. Craft with 1 or more. Pay 5. As Flying Vigilance and Haste, and its power and toughness are each equal to the number of colors among the exiled cards used to craft it. For each color among the exiled cards used to craft it, add 1 mana of that color if you tap it later. So it could be like a 5/5 Vigilance Haste and Fairy Dreamland.
Yeah, like in my decks, I
Or
kind of
the
like it,
cave
but
deck,
it's
right?
kind
This
of
is like a
bad.
cave deck payoff, right?
It kind of. It's pretty sussy, but I'm gonna start off at a 5. I'm
I
gonna
want to put
play
it
it
like
like it's a
a
10
3.
though.
Swashbuckler's Whip. 1 mana artifact equipment. Equipped creature has reach, and you can pay 2, tap it, tap target artifact or creature. And pay 8, tap it, discover 10? Huh? Equip 1.
I like it.
2 mana to
It's
tap
probably
stuff is
this
good.
is probably like a 3. Like realistically, like
So,
this card is bad for sure, right? Like it's actively bad. I love it though. I'm gonna give it a 3, and that's generous for sure.
what's so bad about it?
It just like does absolutely nothing, right?
The tap stuff.
Yeah, but like you're paying infinity mana. It's a 2
2?
mana tapper. You have to have a creature to put it on, right? It doesn't really matter if it has reach if you're using it to tap stuff.
I'm giving it
It
a 5.
like works against itself. It's a trap for sure.
It's a 5. All right, we're on to the rares. Motzlanti, the Great Door. This is 3 mana for a legendary artifact. You can tap it to draw, then discard. You can pay 4 and transform it only if there are 4 or more permanent types among cards in your graveyard. Artifact, battle, creature, enchantment, land, and planeswalker are permanent types. So you can get artifact, creature, enchantment, land. Basically, that's it. And
Yeah.
then it transforms into a land where you tap it, add X mana of any one color, where X is the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. Is this
Uh
bad?
probably.
Yeah, it's like a 2.
Yeah, it's not good. Draw and discard. It's free, but like you're paying 3 mana to play this.
You have to draw and discard like 5 times for it to be worth
Yeah,
3.
for it to do anything, and then it just ramps. It's okay. It's not good.
No,
It's
it's
not
like a
okay.
2.
Yeah.
Roaming Throne, 4 mana for an artifact creature golem. It's a 4/4 with Ward 2. When there's the battlefield, choose a creature type. Roaming Throne is the chosen type in addition to its other types. If a triggered ability of another creature you control of the chosen type triggers, it triggers an additional time.
I like it.
That triggers Discover on ETB
Yep.
effects.
It's a good merfolk payoff.
Yeah.
It's a
Dinosaur,
good dinosaur. Yeah.
pirate,
Yep.
artifact creature
Yep.
stuff,
It's
maybe.
sick. It's a good card.
How sick?
I give it a 7.
Okay.
It's got ward 2 too. Like that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like for something that sits on the battlefield and yeah,
I think it's
gives you
just,
value. Yep.
yeah, I'm leaning towards 6, but I'll keep it at 7. Next up, we have Tarian Soul Cleaver. This is 1 mana for a legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature has vigilance. Whenever another artifact or creature is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on equipped creature. Equip for 2.
Nah.
Yeah, it's got to be in that sack deck.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's
gonna
not
be
even
like
like that great.
a 2.
I'll give it a 4. Threefold Thunderhulk, 7 mana for an artifact creature, 0/0. But it enters the battlefield with 3 1/1 counters on it. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, create a number of 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature tokens equal to its power. Sacrifice another artifact, put a 1/1 counter on it. Holy cow.
Yeah, it's like rough triplets.
It's like amazing.
It's not. It's like a 8. It's pretty vulnerable.
Cost 7. It is pretty
Yeah.
vulnerable. But like
Yeah.
it comes into play instantly and makes 3 1/1s
Yeah.
and a 3/3.
Yeah. For 7 mana, which isn't that good. But it's
That
it's
is
it's
pretty good
good.
for
It's
7
good.
mana.
Yeah. It's okay, right?
It's pretty
You
good.
have to be able to attack with it to really be able
I mean,
to.
yeah, you attack with it once and people are in
And,
trouble.
like, not to mention, like, you pump it at all, it becomes real stupid.
Yeah, you just sacrifice all 3 of them, then you make 6. Then you sacrifice all 6 and you make 12.
Yep, it's really stupid.
I'm gonna give it a 9.
It's not a 9. It's not a 9. So, the thing that holds it back too is the fact that it's an artifact, which expensive artifacts are always worse. Once things are expensive, it being an artifact makes it worse, right?
I don't know.
Let's say you sack like so you have to do it pre-combat to get the thing, right?
Yeah.
So you sack 9, you sack like 5 artifacts and you get it up to like a 7, an 8 power creature. You move to combat before it attacks. Before it attacks, they abrade it, right?
What happens if so you can sack it instant speed. What happens if I move to combat attack, trigger on the stack, and then I start sacking stuff?
I don't think it works like that, does
It's
it?
dead, so it can't make anything.
Yeah.
I think it's still just a braid it, yeah.
Yeah. And you could just abrade it. Like
Like
no matter how bad it.
I'm not scared because you can just kill something. It's still good.
Yeah, but it's like a downside compared to, like, it not being an artifact. Like, it
I
would be better if it
mean,
was an
kind
artifact.
of.
Yeah.
It's also colorless, so it goes in every deck.
Yeah, that's true, but yep.
Like you would first pick this in 98% of packs,
Yeah,
right?
probably.
Because you're playing it. Like you're just
Yeah, I'm playing it, but yep.
next up is Throne of the Grim Captain. This is 2 mana for a legendary artifact. You tap it to mill 2 cards. Craft with a dinosaur, a merfolk, a pirate, and a vampire, and 4 mana. It becomes a 7/7 legendary skeleton spirit pirate. Lost the merfolk type, I guess, somehow. Menace, trample, lifelink, hexproof. Whenever it attacks, each opponent sacrifices a non-land permanent. Then you may put an exiled card used to craft it onto the battlefield under your control, tapped and attacking.
This is a 10, right?
The
Like, once you flip
back
it,
is
it's
yeah, like the back
like,
is
once you flip this is, like, actually unbeatable, right?
yeah, for sure.
Like a
There's
7/7.
like one card that like makes them sack stuff, or two. There's two.
Yeah, but, like,
That's
yeah,
it.
that's pretty stupid. It's pretty dumb.
Menace, trample, lifelink, hexproof, 7/7. That they
That
have to
makes him
sack stuff,
sacrifice a
and you get
non-land
stuff
permanent
back.
too?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
that's pretty
Emrakul.
basically. And, like, imagine that this only costs 6 mana.
And you could potentially play it on turn 4.
Like,
Like,
yeah,
what's harder?
this is
Okay,
actually
let
a
me
10.
ask you
This
this:
is
what's harder to
actually a
do?
10.
What's harder to do? Get 15 mana for Emrakul, or have a dinosaur, a merfolk, a pirate, and a vampire in your graveyard when you're milling 2 each
You
turn?
don't even have to have it on the graveyard, right?
You can have them in the battlefield, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, that's way
Like,
easier than 15 mana.
it doesn't even matter if you use, like, the something from a graveyard, right? Like,
Or from the battlefield, you mean?
yeah, because, like,
Yeah,
you
because you're
just get
winning
it
the
back
game. Yeah,
immediately,
you're
right?
winning the
As soon
game.
as it
Yeah,
attacks. Like,
right.
they can't target it, you know?
Like, you just
It's
draft.
this is a 10. This is a 10. Easy 10.
It's not a
Actually,
10.
it's a 10. It is a 10.
It's not a 10.
It's
You're tripping.
literally a 10. It
Like,
goes in
you
every
have to go
color.
so far off the rails to do this, and if you never draw this card,
Do
you're
you?
losing.
Do you?
You need
Like, you need
dinosaurs, merfolks, vampires, and pirates.
oh, you need all of them?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you just needed one of them. Never mind. It's like a 4.
Okay.
Like, I thought you could just use 1.
That would be insane. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Yeah, okay,
Like, it's
never
built
mind.
around y, and it is a 10 if you flip it, but,
It's
like,
like a
it's hard to
4.
flip.
Yeah, you got me.
Okay.
I'm back to reality now.
Okay. Oops, there goes gravity.
Yeah, so what's up next?
Treasure map. 2 mana for an artifact, pay 1, scry 1, put a landmark counter on it. Then if there are 3 or more landmark counters on it, transform it, remove those counters, and create 3 treasure tokens. On the back it says tap for a colorless or tap, sack a treasure, draw a card. This is like an 8.
Yep.
This card is
It's a
fire.
bomb. It's a bomb, actually. Yeah. The fact that it makes it makes a million things. Like, you get 4 artifacts out of this, right? Which
Yeah.
is a ton.
You scry 3 and you draw 3 cards sometimes.
Yep. Yep. It's super good.
Yep. And it's like ramp. It's like so good.
It is ramp. It's like really strong ramp. Like,
Yeah.
it was a standard staple whenever it came out.
Next up,
Yep.
we have Echoing Deeps. It's a cave land. There's a battlefield tapped as a copy of any land card in a graveyard, except it's a cave in addition to its other types, and you can tap it for colorless.
Yeah, it's pretty mid.
Pretty mid.
Like you should not. I'm gonna say like a 3.
Yeah.
Cave deck might want it, but that's it.
I put all these man lands in here solo. Do you want to do each of them, or you just want to do one and say like they're good because they're man lands?
We can do them solo.
Okay, we got the
All
white
right,
blue
let's-
one. It taps for a white or a blue and enters tap. They all enter tapped and tap for both colors. So I'm gonna skip that. One white blue until end of turn it becomes a 2/3 bird with flying. It's still a land. Whenever it attacks, create a map token.
Super
Solid
strong.
7. Yeah.
Yep, 7. Yep. The
Rest
fact has flying too. Yep.
Yep. Restless Prairie. This is the green white one. For 4, they always cost both colors too. So for 4, it becomes a 3/3 white llama creature until end of turn. It's still a land. Whenever it attacks, your creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. This one's less good than the other
Yeah,
one.
this one's like a
6.
5. Yeah, I don't know.
It's
I
still
want to
good.
say a 5.
Next
Maybe
up we have-
this is a 6. It's a 6.
Okay, yeah, it's a 6. Next up, we have Restless Reef. It's a blue-black, and for 4, it becomes a 4/4 shark with Death Touch. Whenever it attacks, target player mills 4 cards. That's really good. 7.
Yeah, I give that one a 7. You're milling yourself out too, right?
Yeah,
It's
for
sick.
sure. Until you're not, until you're milling them to win. But yeah.
Yep.
Red green 4, create a 3/4 dinosaur. Still a land. Whenever it attacks, another attacking creature gets +2/+0 and untap it.
Pretty good.
That's really good.
It's like
7.
a 7, yeah.
Restless Vents, black red. It costs 3. It becomes a 2/3 red insect with menace. Whenever it attacks, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card.
I'm gonna give it a 6.
6, yeah. Not as good as the others. Sunken Citadel. Enters the battlefield tapped. As it enters, choose a color. Tap it to add 1 mana of the chosen color. Tap it to add 2 mana of the chosen color. Spend this mana only to activate abilities of land sources.
Like
Solid
like
face.
it's okay.
It's a 6.
It's
Like,
like
it's
a,
whatever
yeah,
color you
it's
want
like
it to
a
be.
5, right? It's whatever, yep.
Shamil the Inner Sun, 6 mana for a legendary artifact. Spells you control can't be countered. At the beginning of your end step, discover 5 every turn.
It's like a 9, right?
Oh, yeah? Is it?
Yeah, it's a 9.
Okay. I'll buy it.
It still gets abraded, right? Like they can like abrade it before the beginning of your end step, and you're just basically dead because you spent 6 mana to cast it.
I mean, yeah, they
Right, like
could.
it dies to the best common, right?
Yeah. It's
Alright,
still
the
sick,
next-
though.
Yeah, it is tight. It is tight. 5.
Discover
that's
5
super
every
low, yeah.
turn. Like, you do that 1 or 2 turns, you're pretty ahead.
Yep.
The Millennium Calendar, 1 mana for a legendary artifact. Whenever you untap 1 or more permanents during your untap step, put that many time counters on the Millennium Calendar. 2, double the number of time counters on the Millennium Calendar. When there are 1,000 or more time counters on it, sacrifice it, and each opponent loses 1,000 life.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Bring grains of rice to track
There are
the
for
counters.
sure games of Magic where I could get 1,000 counters on this
I
thing.
mean, you could double it every turn. Yeah, that's not that
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah, it's easy. This is like a 1, but I'm gonna play it like a 10.
All you have to do is untap stuff. You like
Yeah, it's
you're gonna-
easy.
The turn you play it, it's getting a counter like the next turn.
This is swag points. Anytime you kill someone with this, take a screenshot because it's amazing. I think it might not be that
Bonus
bad.
points. If you send me a screenshot of you doing this in a physical F&M tournament, extra bonus points.
Yeah, and you have
Especially
to
if you
have.
track your 1,000 counters. With
Yeah, that's what I want to
dice.
see. Especially with dice. Yeah, you need so many
No, like-
D20s,
You need. I want you to use like
D6s.
like pennies, poker chips,
You have 10. Yeah, dude, that's tight.
gold pieces from games where
I
they're
love
like
it.
1, 5, 10. Yeah.
I love it. I'm a fan, but it's probably pretty bad. But
There's no way it's bad. You only need 1,000 counters and you win
yeah,
the
it's
game.
tight. Yeah. Next up,
Cavern of
Souls.
Souls.
Sick. Glad to see this back.
Yep, it's a land. Enters the battlefield. You choose a creature type. Tap for colorless or any color to cast creature spells of the chosen type, and that spell can't be countered. This is worth money.
Yeah, yeah. Heads up. If you get this, it's worth infinity money. So it's pretty okay.
Yeah, your stuff not being countered is like not nothing too.
Yeah, it's
And any color for stuff like a type is not nothing either.
yeah. There's gonna be times you name like something stupid, like a gnome.
Yeah.
where it's just right, but the
It's like
right
a
way.
6 unlimited though.
It's like a 5.
Yeah.
But like you take this 100% of the time. But
Yep. Well, thanks for listening to our review, guys. If you made it
yeah,
this far, we appreciate it.
join the Discord. You can do these forms yourself if you want.
Yes,
We
they'll be
have all
posted
the links
on
in the
all the
Discord
videos.
and the description. And
Yep.
yep,
Well, we'll catch you
you
boys on
let
the
us
flippity
know.
flop.